There is an undeniable power in words. They have the ability to heal, to inspire, and to transform. But today I want to talk about something even more powerful: silence. Silence is often misunderstood as a sign of weakness, passivity, or a lack of confidence. But in reality, silence is one of the greatest strengths a person can possess. It is a force that allows us to remain in control when chaos surrounds us, to reflect when emotions run high, and to choose wisdom over impulsive reactions. Those who understand the power of silence know that it is not about suppression, but about mastery. Mastery over one's thoughts, emotions, and responses. When faced with criticism, many people feel the need to immediately defend themselves, to argue, to prove their worth through words. But true strength lies in the ability to stay silent and let actions speak louder than any justification ever could. Silence does not mean surrender, it means self-assurance. It is a sign that you are secure in your identity and do not need external validation to prove your worth. It takes immense inner power to resist the urge to react to negativity, to stay composed when provoked, and to maintain grace in situations where others expect an outburst. Silence is also a space where self-discovery happens. In the quiet moments when the noise of the world fades away, we hear our true selves. We reflect, we grow, and we understand what really matters. People who constantly fill their lives with distractions, conversations, and external influences often miss the opportunity to connect with themselves. Strength comes from knowing who you are, and that knowledge is often found in moments of solitude. Another remarkable aspect of silence is its ability to make a statement without uttering a single word. A person who walks away from a pointless argument demonstrates more strength than one who stays to win a battle of words. Silence can be intimidating, powerful, and deeply influential. It commands respect because it shows restraint, patience, and wisdom. Leaders, visionaries, and strong individuals throughout history have used silence as a tool to make people listen, to make people think, and to leave an impact that words sometimes fail to deliver. When used correctly, silence is not an absence of power, it is power itself. It provides clarity, preserves dignity, and demonstrates control. It allows one to observe more, learn more, and make better decisions. Strength is not always found in speaking the loudest, but in knowing when to remain silent. In that silence, there is wisdom, there is resilience, and most importantly, there is undeniable power. Silence has a way of teaching us lessons that words often fail to convey. In a world that constantly encourages speaking up, voicing opinions, and filling every moment with noise, we often overlook the wisdom that exists in stillness. Silence is not just the absence of sound, it is a powerful teacher that reveals truths about ourselves, our surroundings, and the people around us. It teaches patience, resilience, self-awareness, and the ability to observe rather than react. Those who embrace silence as a teacher learn to navigate life with a deeper sense of understanding and clarity. One of the greatest lessons silence teaches is self-reflection. In moments of quiet, we come face to face with our own thoughts, fears, and emotions. Many people avoid silence because it forces them to confront what they have been running from: doubts, insecurities, or past mistakes. But those who sit with their silence learn the most important lesson of all: self-awareness. They gain insight into their strengths and weaknesses, their desires and purpose. They understand that personal growth does not come from not with impulse, but with intelligence. Another profound lesson silence teaches is emotional strength. In moments of anger, frustration, or disappointment, silence teaches restraint. Instead of reacting impulsively, it gives us the space to process our emotions, to think before we act, and to choose wisdom over temporary satisfaction. Many conflicts are fueled by unnecessary words spoken in the heat of the moment, but silence has the ability to de-escalate situations, to create understanding, and to preserve relationships. Silence teaches us to listen, not just to others, but to ourselves. It reminds us that not everything requires a response, not every moment needs to be filled with words, and sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is remain still. In that stillness, we learn patience, wisdom, and a deeper appreciation for life itself. The art of listening is often overlooked in a world where talking is so highly valued. Listening is not just about hearing words. It is about understanding, connecting, and truly being present with someone else. It requires patience, empathy, and the ability to step outside of our own thoughts to focus entirely on the speaker. Listening is an active process, a skill that goes far beyond passive hearing, and it holds the key to deeper relationships, personal growth, and effective communication. In a society that constantly encourages self-expression, many people forget the importance of truly listening to others. We are often more focused on our own response than on what the other person is saying. Listening with intention allows us to not only hear words, but to grasp the meaning behind them. It allows us to understand the emotions and intentions that are being conveyed. By being fully present, we create a space for others to feel seen and heard, which in turn fosters stronger, more meaningful connections. Listening also provides us with the opportunity to learn. Every person we encounter has a unique perspective shaped by their own experiences and worldview. By actively listening to them, we gain access to a wealth of knowledge and insights that we may not have considered before. In listening, we open ourselves to new ideas, new ways of thinking, and new possibilities. It broadens our understanding of the world and encourages growth. Too often, we miss out on valuable lessons simply because we are too busy thinking about what we are going to say next. Furthermore, listening teaches us humility. It reminds us that we do not have all the answers, and that others' experiences and viewpoints are just as valid as our own. Listening allows us to put our own egos aside and approach each conversation with a sense of curiosity and respect. In doing so, we show others that their voices matter and that their perspectives are worthy of our attention. The ability to listen also leads to more effective problem solving. When we take the time to truly listen to someone's concerns or needs, we are better equipped to respond thoughtfully and find solutions that are truly helpful. It reduces misunderstandings and promotes collaboration. Listening doesn't just help us understand others, it helps us make informed decisions and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Ultimately, the art of listening is not just about hearing the words being spoken, but about connecting deeply, learning and respecting the experiences of those around us. It is a powerful tool that can transform relationships and enrich our understanding of the world. In times of adversity, when the world seems to be against us, the natural impulse is often to fight back with words, to defend ourselves, or to react impulsively. Yet, in these moments, silence can be one of the most powerful responses. Choosing silence in the face of adversity does not equate to weakness or surrender. It is a conscious decision to rise above the chaos, to maintain control over your emotions, and to protect your energy from being consumed by negativity. There is strength in resisting the urge to react and instead using silence as a tool for composure and resilience. When faced with criticism, rejection, or injustice, it is easy to feel the need to prove ourselves, to argue, or to retaliate. But often, reacting in the heat of the moment only escalates the situation. Words spoken out of anger or frustration rarely lead to productive outcomes. In these moments, silence provides us with a space to gather our thoughts, to pause and reflect on how we want to respond. It allows us to choose the high road, to prevent ourselves from sinking into negativity, and to maintain the dignity that adversity often tries to strip away. Instead of lashing out, we can simply stand firm in our silence, allowing others to reveal their true nature while we remain steady. Silence in the face of adversity also speaks volumes about our inner strength. It sends a clear message that we are not easily shaken, that we are grounded in our beliefs, and that we do not need to explain ourselves to those who seek to tear us down. In moments of conflict, silence demands respect. It forces people to confront their own behavior and challenges them to reflect on their actions. By choosing silence, we refuse to be pulled into the drama and emotional turbulence that often accompanies conflict. We refuse to let external negativity disturb our inner peace. Moreover, silence allows us to process the situation with clarity. When adversity strikes, emotions can cloud our judgment, making it difficult to think rationally or make decisions. But in silence, we gain the space to understand the situation without being driven by emotional impulses. It gives us the time to weigh our options, to consider the consequences of our actions, and to determine the best way forward. Rather than reacting out of hurt or frustration, silence enables us to respond thoughtfully and strategically, ensuring that our actions align with our values. Choosing silence in the face of adversity is a choice of strength, resilience, and wisdom. It is not about avoiding the situation or running away from conflict. It is about responding in a way that preserves our integrity, protects our energy, and ensures that we rise above the challenges we face with grace and purpose. Silence is a powerful catalyst for personal growth, yet it is often overlooked in a world that constantly demands action, words, and noise. In the rush of daily life, it can be difficult to pause and embrace the stillness. However, in those quiet moments when we are not distracted by external influences or caught up in the busyness of the world, we find the opportunity to reflect, grow, and transform. Harnessing silence for growth means creating a space where self-discovery, clarity, and transformation can take place. In the silence, we have the chance to connect with ourselves on a deeper level. When the noise of the world fades away, we are left with our true thoughts and feelings, which are often buried beneath layers of distractions. In those moments, we can face our fears, desires, and uncertainties without interference. Silence forces us to confront our inner world and gain a better understanding of who we really are, what we truly need, and where we want to go. It is in these quiet moments that the seeds of growth are planted, as we are able to strip away the superficial and connect with our core. Silence also provides us with a mental space to reflect on our experiences, our choices, and our mistakes. Without the constant chatter around us, we can evaluate past events with a sense of detachment and objectivity. This reflection helps us learn from our mistakes and successes alike, allowing us to make more informed decisions moving forward. Growth doesn't come from avoiding mistakes, but from recognizing them, understanding why they happened, and using that knowledge to evolve. Silence allows us to take the time to think deeply about these lessons, ultimately leading to greater wisdom and emotional maturity. Another way silence fosters growth is by giving us the ability to practice patience. In a world where instant gratification is common, silence teaches us that some things take time. Growth is rarely immediate, and it requires sustained effort, introspection, and resilience. Silence helps us develop the patience to let things unfold naturally, without forcing outcomes or rushing through processes. It reminds us that transformation is a journey, not a destination, and that progress is often slow but steady. Furthermore, silence allows us to clear mental clutter, which is essential for personal development. Our minds are often overloaded with constant thoughts, ideas, and worries, making it difficult to focus on what truly matters. Silence helps to create space, not just physically but mentally, enabling us to declutter our minds and focus on what is essential. In that mental clarity, we find the ability to prioritize, to set goals, and to take intentional steps toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Harnessing silence for growth is a practice that requires discipline and intention. It calls for moments of stillness where we can listen to our inner voice, learn from our experiences, and develop the patience needed to navigate the journey of personal growth. Breaking the silence with purpose is an act of power, one that requires intentionality and clarity. Silence as a form of strength is not about remaining mute indefinitely, but rather about knowing when the time is right to speak and choosing to do so with intention. Words once spoken cannot be taken back, and their impact can ripple out far beyond what we may initially anticipate. Therefore, breaking the silence should never be impulsive or reactionary. It must be purposeful, measured, and driven by the desire to make a meaningful impact. In moments of silence, we often gain valuable insight. We reflect, process, and observe. But once we are certain of our thoughts and intentions, breaking the silence with purpose allows us to take action through words that matter. This is when silence becomes a tool for transformation. We can use our voice not just to share information, but to inspire, to challenge, and to create change. Choosing the right moment to speak enables us to deliver our words in a way that commands attention, respect, and consideration. Speaking with purpose also ensures that we don't contribute to the noise and confusion around us. In a world flooded with opinions, misinformation, and distractions, the act of speaking thoughtfully is more important than ever. It is about using our voice for the greater good, ensuring that what we say adds value to the conversation. Purposeful speech does not seek to diminish or invalidate others. Rather, it seeks to elevate and enlighten. It is about contributing meaningfully to the world around us, offering solutions, wisdom, or encouragement when it is most needed. Moreover, breaking the silence with purpose allows us to advocate for ourselves and others. In many situations, people remain silent because they fear judgment, rejection, or confrontation. Yet silence can also be a form of compliance, and sometimes it is necessary to break that silence to stand up for what is right, whether it is in the face of injustice, in support of a cause, or in defense of our own boundaries. Speaking with purpose ensures that we are not passive bystanders. We take control of our narrative and create the opportunity for positive change. When we choose to break the silence with purpose, we also honor the responsibility that comes with our words. Words have the power to heal or to hurt, to build or to break. Recognizing this power, we ensure that our speech is aligned with our values and guided by a sense of respect, empathy, and integrity. Each time we speak with purpose, we make a conscious decision to use our voice as a force for good, whether to uplift, to challenge, or to inspire. It is an act of courage and mindfulness, one that reflects the wisdom gained in silence and the clarity achieved through thoughtful reflection. Breaking the silence with purpose is not just about finding the right words, but about using those words to create a lasting impact. It is about choosing the moment to speak with intention, using your voice to inspire change, foster understanding, and elevate those around you. When silence has taught us the lessons of patience, reflection, and strength, our words, when spoken, become a powerful force for good. The true power lies not in how often we speak, but in how purposefully we choose to break the silence, allowing our words to echo with meaning and purpose.